I've always noticed it's these progressive males that have never experienced the fear of being a woman that can be overpowered by a dude. You want to have a discussion about privilege? That's your privilege. A progressive male who is so damn self-involved that they cannot imagine an abusive situation, except for the many instances where they themselves are the abuser. But that is privilege. Oh, we'll just call the police. Like they're your own personal security detail. That's not how this works. Go get a restraining order. We had an issue with someone else, and I was told, if you get a restraining order, this could intensify the situation and make this guy get froggy. And I'm like, I would rather them try to get froggy with me than a woman that has not trained and does not carry like I do. Because then I would have that on my conscience all the time. And so protective orders are worthless. I've seen them not work in my own family. I don't get into personal stuff, but there's a very clear reason why I feel the way I feel about this issue. In my experience and my knowledge, I do not take a backseat to anybody on this. It's not passion for the sake of politics, it's passion for the sake of experience. When the New York Times sent its one credible journalist out to do a profile on me, she didn't get into all of it. But I told her, and I said, for your background information, this is why I am the way I am on this issue. And after I laid it all out, she understood more than I ever saw anyone on the opposite side of the aisle on this issue. More than anybody I ever saw understand, she got it. I don't tweet this stuff out and I don't say this stuff, like I said, because it's politically motivated. I'm very glad that there are people out there who have not had the unfortunate experiences that I've personally lived through. And not just as an adult woman, but as a child. So, yeah, I'm not going to be disarmed by patriarchal progressive males who think that I should just call the police and then hope and pray for the average 10 to 20 minute response time that I'm not overpowered by my attacker. Tell that to Carol Brown, who was stabbed to death in her driveway in New Jersey in 2015 while waiting for the government to give her permission to exercise a right she already had the inherent permission to exercise in the first place. New Jersey might as well have held the knife themselves. Tell it to people like Carol Brown. Tell it to people who live in fear. Tell it to people like Otis McDonald in Chicago. The left doesn't recognize that man as the civil rights icon that he is because he was for gun rights. See, the only time civil rights icons are even recognized anymore is if they uphold progressive Marxist narratives. Otis McDonald fought the handgun ban in Chicago and won. He was tired of the crime that kept taking place in his city community. He was tired, and he was an older man, older gentleman. And he fought to have the handgun ban overturned. He's a civil rights icon. He does not get the due he deserves from the left. Of course, the left's never been historically on the right side of the story where it concerns gun rights and minorities, especially when you consider the racist roots of gun control. You got to go all the way back to Roger Taney and the Dred Scott case on that one. You realize that was one of the determining factors as to why free God's children, black men and women, could not be considered full citizens because gun rights came into play. Well, they can't have guns, so we can't consider them full citizens, due the rights and privileges of a full citizen. And I see today that same logic still being used by the same people who are still in the same spot on the wrong side of history.